Ladies and gentlemen, it's just me and George this week. It's just me and George this week. You missed the cold open. The cold open happened actually on our YouTube live. I accidentally started it, and we ran like for a minute and a half, and then Jack called in and was like, "What are you guys doing? You're already messing up production," which is so classic for the guy to just be in a different country this whole week and then come back and have something to say on the phone instead of just helping us record. But that's classic JB right there for you.
But you know what? We appreciate the Capitan for helping us, because I don't know if we would have figured that out. I don't think we would have noticed that. I do not think we would have.
No shot we would have figured that out.
Slate and just boom.
No shot we would have figured that out. So thank you, Jack, for giving me a phone call from his Munich hotel room, I'm assuming. I mean, the kid's been all over Europe this year. London for Christmas, is supposedly going to Amsterdam at some point, but hasn't gotten there yet. I think class starts this week, so I'm assuming that has to be soon. But we'll get more freeform content out when he is like sitting down and ready to do stuff. You know, like it's a little bit tough with him moving around as much as he has been. But we're back. We had to talk about football. We just have to. You know, I mean, football.
I'm getting the football scratches.
Chomping at the bit. I mean, there have been some fantastic games so far. This feels like one of the best playoffs that we've seen in a really long time. And I mean, we said that about baseball this summer, while Jack and I were just talking about it in particular, is that like there's something in the air this year in 2025, 2026, where things are just looking up. Things are just looking up. And, for football in particular, like we knew coming into these playoffs that there were going to be a ton of really interesting games, because we kept saying like, we don't know a ton about all the teams that we're watching. And I think that completely showed itself in the first two rounds here. Now that we are into the AFC and NFC Championship games, we're going to give you a little bit of a rundown as to what we've seen from the four teams who are left and who we think are going to come out of these divisions. The best part about this is that we picked all of these games already.
We already had it. We locked in what we thought was going to happen. Watching these games, I have been like going back and forth to be like, I picked them.
Who did I take? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then you get to see what your thought process was behind what you picked versus what the fuck, or excuse me, what these teams actually were. Because I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I've been shocked on multiple occasions so far.
Yeah. I mean, I think we just literally start with the first round. It happened a few weeks ago, but like Jack and I were perfect picking the first round. I think, George, you also had, I'm looking at the AFC first. You had Steelers to lose to the Texans. That panned out. We all picked the Bills and we all picked the Patriots. So we were all right on all of those accounts. And then in the NFC is where we started to see a little bit of a difference here. I picked the Rams, I picked the 49ers, and I picked the Bears. George, you went Rams, Eagles, Bears, and Jack went Rams, 49ers, Bears. So,
I mean, as a Cowboys fan, Eagles or 49ers, that's an impossible pick.
Correct. And all things considered,
what I chose anyway. But
all things considered, from a squad that just like does not pick well as it is. We've done really well so far. Really well so far. The second round, however, is where things started to slip, because you saw us taking a little bit more of a risk because, again, we don't know what these teams are going to look like, right? Yeah. So, like, Bears-Rams was a great game. We all picked I think you and I picked the Rams to come out of this one. Jack did too, right? So, like, we all picked Bears-Rams correctly, but that game could have gone either way. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Seahawks 49ers was one where the Seahawks just came out and drubbed the 49ers. I think you and I both had the 49ers for some odd reason.
Since I had the 49ers going through, I had them losing to the Bears and the Bears-Rams in the NFC Championship, and the Rams would have beaten the Seahawks. So I actually have technically one right pick for the divisional, which is just, look, in my head, I didn't think it was that bad, but it really was that bad.
Yeah. So that was a bad decision on your part. But you know what? It happens. I think we all picked the Bills to beat the Broncos. That was a crazy game. We'll talk about that one for sure. And then Patriots Texans was another one where I think you went against the boys here and took the Texans, but I can't remember.
Oh, yeah, I took the Texans.
You sure did. Yeah, you scumbag. You absolute scumbag. All right, I think we start in the AFC, though. I think the game that was the The one that's definitely the most controversial when it comes to my brain was Bills versus Broncos up in Mile High. Fantastic game. I mean, it went to overtime. That's basically all you can ask for. It was a 33-30 win for the Broncos. The biggest question coming out of this game was, is that a completion or an interception? And what does this mean for Josh Allen going forward, right? Because this was the one playoffs that you looked at and you went, okay, there's no Mahomes. There's no Brady.
There's no Lamar.
There's no Lamar. There's no
Joe
Burrow.
Burr. Yeah.
So looking at all those things considered, you're like, okay, obviously this is the best player in football. Does he have the best pieces around him? No. Right? I mean, we've said that multiple times. It's either Josh Allen is Superman or this team loses. And it felt like he was giving another one of those Superman performances, and they just came up short against this Broncos team. But they were in a position to win, right? If that's called a catch, and he's ruled down,
Brandon Cook was ruled down line after the Broncos win the game. Already have possession. Like
they would have won the game right there. They would have run the game right there. You would have run off the clock, and then the game would have ended. So, I mean, I do want to get your take as to if you think that's an interception, because NFL catch rules as it is have been really strange for a few years now.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I say anytime we talk football that the two things that NFL needs to address immediately is what is a catch and what is pass interference.
Mm-hmm.
They've been more consistent recently. I'll give them a little bit of credit with pass interference, but we even saw it on the Broncos drive there. I mean, those are two pass interference calls that dictate the game and give them the game. On the last drive to get up to set up for the field goal. I do think that's a catch. He had possession of the football. His knee was down. I saw the photo today. That's a catch. And if you're going to call the one last night, the Devontae Adams one, a catch,
yes,
you have to call that the Cooks one also a catch. You can't do either or. I don't mind if you say that you have to, even if your knee is down, you have to come out with the football. Like, that's fine. But then, like, half of the catches we have today wouldn't be catches.
Right. Because, I mean, the one that I would think of for you has to be the Dez Bryant one.
I know.
Right? As a Cowboys fan, I understand why you would say that.
If that is a catch, then Cooks is a catch, Adams is a catch. I mean, if you have the football, if you control the football and you have one knee on the ground, or if you have both feet in back, like if you have possession of the football and then you land and then somebody takes it out, that's just not an interception to me. I thought that was, I mean, I thought that was stupid. I have a little bit of a hot take, Al, on this though. Top of this, I'm going through. There are 5 teams or 4 teams. I saw this list on NFL Today of all the teams who have gone and won a playoff game in 6 straight years. It's the Patriots had done it. The 49ers had done it. The Cowboys had done it. The Steelers had done it. And the Bills have. Do you know what the other 3 teams have in that 6-year span? At least 2 Super Bowls.
Wow.
And I don't want to say, I'm saying this with a Bills fan as a roommate. I don't want to say
you don't want to say it too loud. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the other years, the Josh Allen does the heroics, and you need the team. Right. I'm not going to lie. This is the best defensively the team had ever played. I mean, they were rock solid.
Yep.
Josh had a chance. I mean, all he had to do was just not throw the football backwards at the end of the second quarter, and then the Broncos don't get that field goal.
Yep.
Bad interception.
Yep.
Bad fumble. For your preamble before the talk conversation about the catch, I just wanted to say I don't think that was a great game from Josh, and I appreciate that he also
I would agree with that. Yeah,
I appreciate that he also said that wasn't his best, and that he felt like he let the guys down, because this is their best chance. This was their best chance to win a Super Bowl, get to the Super Bowl. And I don't know what it looks like from here. I mean, we'll get into the coaching stuff later, but
100%.
I don't know how you can. I don't know what the Bills in their current situation can do to make this a different outcome besides Josh playing better.
Right. And look, like you said, he took accountability for it, and it's really hard to win a playoff game when you have 4 turnovers, right?
Yeah.
And the difference between the Bills and the Broncos versus Houston and the Patriots just handing the ball off to each other consistently, right, is the fact that, like, that one kind of evened itself out, right? So obviously the Patriots were the team that was able to draw on top of the Texans, but it's because both teams had four turnovers, right?
Yeah.
CJ Stroud had 4 interceptions, and then the Patriots had 4 fumbles, right? Josh Allen turning the ball over 4 times. I don't think the Broncos turned it over once. Now, obviously they had to punt the football, right? And that's kind of what kept, the Bills in this game, like you said, was their defense. But obviously the story coming out of this is going to be, Bo Nix threw 1 interception. Sorry. But obviously the story coming out of this game is going to be, was that a catch or was it not a catch? Because like you said, the rules are so unclear. Richard Sherman sent out a tweet and was basically like, normally ties go to the receiver. I think that's true. I mean, obviously they've been in a situation, I think it was Green Bay, that one where like the guy picked it off and then the Seattle receiver just kind of grabbed it on the ground and tore it away for a touchdown, right? So we don't know what a catch is, and it doesn't seem like the NFL knows what a catch is either. And I feel like that's certainly going to come up when we talk about the offseason is like, what are they going to do to manage this? Now, I also have seen the narrative going around that like Josh Allen has had multiple rule changes implemented for him to try and win a Super Bowl, right? Like the overtime rules changed because of that Bills Chiefs game 3 or 4 years ago, right? So like these things, like you were expecting Super Josh to come out and win this football game. And it's it's very uncharacteristic for him to have 4 turnovers in the game, right? So
yeah, I know, and I mean, like you saw moments of it. You saw like some of you saw big plays to Kincaid, the drive in the fourth quarter. The one that I keep going back to, and I keep hearing people talk about, is if he, on one of his interceptions, if he doesn't, on the other interception, if he doesn't throw it low to Knox, that's a touchdown. They go up 7, right? Or they go, I think it was 13.
It was 10-10 at that point.
It was 10-10. Yeah. They go up 17-10. It's a completely different ball game. They get the ball back to start
after the half. Yep.
Yeah, to start the half, and that's real momentum. And I know I said that this, first layer, it's on Josh. Second layer, it's on the coaching staff. For, like, the Broncos aren't the most talented team. I'm not trying to air them out right now, but the defense is legit. They have great coaching. They live off momentum. You saw it in this game. They come down, bad first drive. Bills don't get anything. They get the field goal. Then Bills get a touchdown. Stadium silent.
Right.
Literally nothing until the fumble. And Bills have all the momentum. Then it goes to the Broncos. And the Broncos did a better job of capitalizing on that momentum. It's why they win the football game. And B, if you're Sean McDermott, I don't know how that isn't the point of emphasis going into the second half of like minimizing. I know it's the players out there, but like they played sloppy football. The whole first half, and it continued into the second half. I mean, we'll get into.
You knew that the Bills were going to have a second half push, right? Like that's what they've been doing all season. Obviously, the 2 turnovers in the first half, you wish you could get rid of them, and then you turn the ball over 2 more times in the second. But that being said, like you knew that they were going to make this a game. Like when Josh Allen had the ball and they were running the 1-minute drill, I knew they were going to score. Like I knew they were going to get a field goal and send it overtime. The question was, once you get to overtime, what's going to happen, right? And the answer consistently with this Bills team has been they'll find a way to lose. Not they'll find a way to win. They'll find a way to lose. Now, you can blame the referees. I think that that's totally valid in this situation, right? For making the wrong call or the wrong call, whatever the call is. Like somebody has to be able to step in at that moment and be like, this is what the rule is, right? Because no one on that field knew what was going on. I don't even think Gene Steratore knew what was going on, right? I think he called it a catch, right? So like the answer is that like if no one knows, then there needs to be a change to the rule, like we've said before. But I do think that there are big questions about this Buffalo Bills team. Like you said, we'll talk about that more when we get to the coaching carousel later, because I don't think firing McDermott makes you any better. And I think that there are a ton of things on this roster that have to be addressed in the passing game, like getting Josh Allen a wide receiver 1 that isn't Khalil Shakir, that could take this team over the hump.
And Shakir, frankly, in the playoffs was unbelievable.
Yeah,
I completely agree with you. They need, as Jack Byrne always says, they need the X. Right. They need the guy that if you throw it to, he is going to make the play. Josh can't make the play every time.
Because James Cook was great for them all year. He was the leading rusher in the NFL, right? So like these things, like I feel like if you're a Bills fan, you're like, we're a receiver away from winning a Super Bowl. And I don't know if you can pay one, right, with the roster construction that you already have, but I think you got to find a way to do it. Obviously, the Broncos are moving on, and another big storyline coming out of this game is that Bo Nix has broken his ankle, which is super unfortunate. They'll be starting Jared. Yeah.
On the kneel. To me, is just it makes it even more heartbreaking.
Yep. I think he did it the play before and then knelt, and then that was
and
it.
Then it just like
it's hard to tell though. You never really know with a situation like that. They'll be starting Jared Stidham at quarterback. Some narratives that I saw flying around was like, should the Denver Broncos re-sign Russell Wilson to play in this football game?
Should they bring Phillip Rivers?
Just conspiracy theory stuff out there. Obviously, Stidham is a Patriots legend, a disciple of Brady. So we will see what happens against the New England Patriots come Sunday. I think that you can pencil the Patriots in to be favored in this game now. And that is despite the fact that maybe you haven't seen two really good, convincing performances from the Patriots offense in two back-to-back games. So let's move on and talk about New England a little bit. First and foremost, they took care of business against the Chargers, and it was their defense that stood out, right? I think from the start, you knew that Joe Alt being hurt and Rashawn Slater being hurt for the LA Chargers was going to be a huge deal. Their offensive line just completely crumbled under the Patriots' pressure. And that is a tribute to Rabel and the defense that they've been able to accrue all season. Like, we knew that it was good. Patriots fans personally, we knew it was good, but we didn't know it was going to look like that. And that front four did an unbelievable job in this game. So they get the 16-3 victory over the Chargers, and then they go to Houston. Houston comes to them. And the big question is, how is Drake May going to perform against a Houston Texans team that has the best pass rush in the NFL? That defense is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Will Anderson may be the best edge rusher in the game right now, aside from guys like Myles Garrett. Right, like we did, like a
no. I said to a friend who's a Patriots fan, I said, it's Myles Garrett, and then Will Anderson is in with the other four guys who are in that tier 1B. I mean, Will Anderson that whole game, obviously having Danielle Hunter on the other side, who's just
oh my god, bro, his arms are planets, dude.
I was like, dang, I feel the gains, and then I look up, I was like, you know what, I gotta hit the lab again.
Those things are huge, man. Those things are huge. But like, I mean, their interior was great too. I mean, Al-Shaair, they have. I'm not even gonna attempt to say the Samoan guy's name. But like, it's like Tololo.
To'o.
Toto. Okay.
Henry To'o.
Yeah,
that sounded so bad.
Look for the boys.
So bad. Dude.
Bad look for the boys. Bad look for the boys. But despite that, like, you were looking at this team and you were basically like, "Ooh, that is a really scary defense." And Will Campbell had an absolute nightmare guarding up against Will Anderson in this game. He was unbelievable. However, CJ Stroud just completely shit the bed. And like, you can't throw 4 interceptions and a half and expect to win the football game, right? And now, did the Patriots didn't even really convert on a ton of the points that were going around.
They really didn't.
Like, the Houston Texans were in this game until Kayshon Boutte made an incredible play on Stingley to catch that one-handed pass. Oh yeah, instead of Odell now it's Kayshon Boutte me from now on. Yeah, Boutte me, dude, Boutte me.
Yo, Boutte me. Like, you have to catch it, and you have to be like,
yeah, exactly. Exactly like that. Exactly. But like, Patriots fans in particular, like, this is awesome to be back in the AFC Championship game. And despite the fact that everybody now wants to call the Texans a fraudulent opponent, the Patriots continue to beat the schedule and beat the teams that they are going to that are in front of them. Now, the schedule is going to again come into play here because you're playing the Broncos with Jared Stidham at quarterback. But I also think that this defense has continued to prove itself as being the X factor for this Patriots team. Christian Gonzalez has been fantastic at corner this year. You know, they've been getting huge contributions from the front four, like I said before. You know, and
Chasen,
that guy
was a monster against the Texans.
So like I'm excited to see how this team continues to look going down the line here. And obviously, are the Broncos the best team they've played so far? I don't know. Right? Because we don't know anything about this. Like we don't know anything about this.
We don't know what we're gonna see.
Right? Like but like Milton Williams has played great, this playoffs. Christian Barmore, like they've had so many good players on this defensive side of the ball. And despite the fact that this probably hasn't been the start that Drake May has wanted in the football or in the playoffs so far, he's been okay. Right? Like he's been enough of a game manager quarterback to win the games. Obviously the fumbles are an issue. Right? Like you hope that you can get rid of those, period, point blank. But he's thrown for, 179 yards and 3 tuds. Like the 3 touchdowns are the thing that put you over the hump in this game, right? So like I think that you take those as positives going into the next round. But I certainly have a lot of questions when it comes to this Broncos Patriots game. And I don't know if they're going to be answered, right? Because you're not going to see the best version of the Broncos. And that's unfortunate.
Yeah. It's a shame for the resume. But I have that was a great dialogue about that game because like the truth, the reason I picked Houston was I thought that you have 2 great defenses. One is even greater. Whose offense do you trust? I don't trust Houston's, but I don't really trust the Patriots offense. You saw why I didn't trust the Patriots 100%. Offense. I underestimated the defense. I'll say that. No matter no Nico Collins, no Woody Marks for half of that game, no Schultz. They have no offensive line to begin with.
Yep.
The Patriots were the right pick. And that, you know what? Patriots fans, I apologize. This is a formal apology.
I like that. I like that hand up.
I got to have a little humility about this. I mean, I do think I was right about one thing. And I think people have seen Drake May's MVP year, in my opinion, in the wrong light. He's a second-year quarterback.
Yep.
Who has been phenomenal.
Yep.
I don't think it's fair to put him and compare him against Josh Allen, Mahomes, Lamar, Burrow, because frankly, I'm not even giving him a pass or excuse. I didn't grade those guys to the scrutiny May gets. The fumbles, it's a problem. Yeah. You learn with it. This is his first playoff run. He's playing the best defense in the NFL. And that's not even of opinion. That's just facts. Their defensive unit is unbelievable. He's playing with a rookie left tackle. He's playing this is not easy for him. He does not have a number 1 option. Ramondre Stevenson could not see for the first half because he got poked in the eye. Henderson couldn't do crap on the ground. I mean, the things that he's having to rely on, none of these other quarterbacks are having to. And with the resume conversation, I am someone who has been like, is this Patriots team really that good? What could, and I think I go back to, for me, this idea formed in 2020 with the Lakers. What could they have done differently?
Right.
I mean, the Patriots have dominated 14, or my bad. Yeah, I would say 14 out of 17 games in the regular season. They won, get the win. That's what they're supposed to do. If you would have told anyone that they would have won 14 games.
Here's another one. If you would have told anyone that they would have won 14 games after they lost to the Raiders week 1.
After they started 1-2. If you would have told them that they would have beat the Bills away and then lose at home, Patriots fans, y'all would have just made the playoffs as a wild card. That would be a success.
Right.
In my opinion, coming up against the Broncos, no, it's not fair. No, it's not fair. And it's really sad to see as a football fan, Bo Nix not being able to play. However much I might dislike him, he has been playing good football the latter half of this season. But I don't think this changes it will change people's perspective of this, but it is still one of the hardest things to do in sports, win 4 straight games and get a Super Bowl.
Yep.
I truly, no matter the circumstances, you play against LA. LA has a legit coach, a legit quarterback, a legit defense. You beat them 19-3.
Yep.
Or is it 19-6? Something like that.
Are we talking about what
the Chargers?
Against
this year.
16-3. I thought you were talking about the Rams for a second. Yeah.
Yeah. My bad. That was 13-3.
Yeah.
You go and Texans come up. They come up to Chili Gillette, and you beat them 28-16. You're going to the Broncos, not an easy place to play. And I think I think y'all will win by, I'm taking the -9.5 spread that It's not there,
Wow.
but it will be there when I put it down on FanDuel.
Okay.
This is not sponsored, but one day it will be. Actually, no, they have a line set. It's -5.5.
Yep.
I'm slamming that. Sorry.
Okay.
No offense, Denver. And then you're going to play a legit team in the Super Bowl. Knock on wood.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
you get through this game. The Rams and Seahawks, and I guess this is our little bit of a transition
Yeah,
onto
perfect.
the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the two best, in my opinion, football teams in the NFL right now. The way that like it's them and the Patriots in terms of form right now.
Yeah.
The Rams I picked to win the Super Bowl, and I guess we'll start with the more exciting of these two games with the Rams and Bears, going a little out of order in terms of days, but in terms of fun, way more.
Yes.
I mean, McVay versus Ben Johnson. McVay fighting for his best bud, Matt LaFleur, trying to defend his honor. And that was not a convincing performance.
No.
But the Bears, man. Dude, if you were a Bears doubter or a Caleb Williams doubter before this, change your mind.
Yeah.
He didn't play a great game.
Nope.
But guess what? He made the 2 plays that got him back into this game.
Correct. That throw is a top. It's a top 20 throw in NFL history, probably.
He threw it from the 40-yard line. He threw it from the 40-yard line. And that was a dime. I don't care if Cam Curl slipped. Like, he caught that football. Like,
they don't call him the Iceman for nothing. They don't call him the Iceman for nothing. I mean, like, this game was unbelievable. Look, I have a Bears fan girlfriend. She's heartbroken and like continually heartbroken because she was like, I watched so many weeks of football and I got so excited. She's in the state of like, we've watched so many weeks of football at this point just for it to end like this. And I feel for her. I do. I feel for her. But like I've said before, I do think that this Rams team, when they're clicking, is the best team in the NFL.
Completely agree.
Now, you don't see it often, right? Because these past few weeks, they haven't played great football. I wouldn't say that, like, you know, I mean, obviously they're coming off the losses to end the season that bounced them back to the wild card. Their game against the Panthers, I didn't love it, like just from a convincing standpoint. This game, I didn't love it from a convincing standpoint. And then you look on the other side and you go, this Seattle Seahawks team just completely decimated the 49ers. Now, the 49ers have had half their roster out for the entire season. But that was the most convincing performance I have seen from a football team in the playoffs so far.
Yeah,
like just an absolute step up and bury the team that you're playing against.
First play of the game.
Yeah.
Take it to the house. Rashid Shaheed.
Set the tone. The Tyreek Hill.
Yeah. Oh, my God, that was so tough.
Like, look, I mean, and the reason that I was so out on the Seahawks in particular, and I think you and I were of the same mindset here, was that Sam Darnold's your starting quarterback, and this is the guy that you're going to ride to the Super Bowl. Here's a crazy thought. Sam Darnold will be the first quarterback from the 2018 draft class to win the Super Bowl if you won it.
That's crazy. And if you would have said that to somebody 3 years ago, what do you think their reaction would have been?
Yeah, I know. Seriously.
Like, literally. Like, that was the lowest stock ever coming off the Carolina Panthers, Sam Darnold. Like, damn.
So, like, that class had Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, Josh Rosen, Lamar Jackson, right? Like, that would be a crazy thing to think about. And I do think that we are headed for a 2014 reunion if I had to pick a team right now. I also took the LA Rams to win this game and to win the Super Bowl in my initial bracket. But if I'm reseeding, I'm taking the Patriots and I'm taking Seattle to win this game.
Wow. I have to think about it, and I think I'm going to take 5 seconds here.
Okay.
And I've got it now. I think I'm going to stick with the Rams for one reason. And I go back to the game where the Seahawks won 38-37. And the Rams, I hate this phrasing. The Rams lost that game. The Seahawks didn't win it.
Correct.
When the Rams are at their best, we both said this, they're the best team in football. I think McVay is gonna lock these guys into shape. I mean, it's McVay and Stafford. You have two of the best leaders in the NFL. this is a do or nothing game. If the Rams don't win a Super Bowl this year, they're not going to come back for a minute. I mean, unless they draft a quarterback, like if they trade up and draft a quarterback, Stafford's 38, 39, and on the like he had an unbelievable season this year, but can he repeat this again? Devontae Adams is getting 1 year older. The defense is young again, which is nice. And you got Puka Nacua, who might be the best receiver in football right now, but the Seahawks have JSN, and he also might be the best receiver in football. And the Seahawks offense has looked the best it's looked all season. I mean, the defense was already legit. My gut really wants to take the Rams, and now my brain is saying Seahawks. I'm just going to flip it and ride it with you. I think the Seahawks do get this, and I'm going to completely flip my reasoning. Momentum. And we've seen it throughout NFL history. If you can put together a good couple of games and you find a good thing, it can erase a couple of lackluster moments in the regular season. And their only two lackluster moments are against the Rams, where Darnold throws 4 interceptions, and then the second one where they're in control of the game, the Rams come back, and then they barely squeeze out the win. Yes, let's go. But it's like, it doesn't feel like they won that game. It feels like the Rams lost it. I think it's, I mean, obviously on the Patriots side, it's the prediction to take them to go to the Super Bowl. And I would ride it with you. I think the Seahawks will get it done based off what we saw last week.
So we're all doing what our fearless El Capitan, like you said earlier, has done, and we are picking the Seahawks to win this game on a redraft. He has Seahawks Patriots going to the Super Bowl already. That bastard. He also sent me a text earlier today.
Yeah, we should read that
just to say, sorry. This is from Jack. He said, "Sorry, boy, I couldn't make it tonight, boys. I'm in bed after legally having a few drinks." He's in Germany. It's fine. Watching Los Pollos clips with his dad playing GeoGuessr. Some things are just more important. Be back and better than ever next week. So, in case you thought that he was skipping out on us, he is, and he's watching Los Pollos and Lad on his hotel bedroom, probably next to his snoring father. But he will wake up and see that we have both picked the Seahawks along with him to go to the Super Bowl here. Look, the interior pass rush is the thing that has set them apart. Wow, I can't say that name. DeMarcus Lawrence has been great.
Shout out.
I know that stings to hear. Yeah.
Well, in the circumstances, not to make this a Cowboys thing, because it always ends up being a Cowboys thing. The circumstances in which he left were like where he was like, got into a Twitter beef with Micah and some of the other players on the team. And it was like, damn, I'm not winning anything with y'all. Look where he's at now.
Seriously.
I mean, he's in the NFC Championship hosting the game with the chance to go to the Super Bowl. So,
and one of the things that's been said about this pass rush in particular is that they're unselfish. The fact of the matter is they don't have a fantastic, they don't have like an A1 premier or 1A, 1B premier pass rush, but they got 4 guys in that front 4 that are playing for each other. They stifle run defenses. Christian McCaffrey went through hell last week. You know what I mean? Like those things are that's the sign of a Super Bowl championship winning team, right? So these reasons are the things that I think, the Seahawks are probably the team to beat right now. I mean, look, the season series between the LA Rams and the Seattle Seahawks was separated by 3 points. One team won one game, the other team won the other game. It was I think it was like a 19-17 win, and then a 38-39 win or whatever it was.
21-19.
Okay.
And 38-37.
There you go. So this game is one of those ones where it's so up in the air. And I do think that if it is a shootout, it favors LA. Because I think that if they can get up and down, that's what they want to do. I think an uglier game, a muddier game probably favors the Seahawks.
I completely agree.
I don't see LA blowing the Seahawks out, right? I think if this is a blowout game, it's probably Seattle who's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But then you also have those question marks in your head where you're like, Sam Darnold is the starting quarterback. Yes, they have JSN. Yes, they have good weapons. But at any moment, he could start seeing ghosts out there, and you never know with a guy like that behind center.
Exactly. No,
I also think that you have questions. This is really thinking outside the box here. It's why, if you're the Vikings, would you let him walk? Right? This is the guy who's now in the NFC Championship game, right? He's favored to go to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to push it even further.
Okay.
Why do you let Daniel Jones go? I'm going to push it even further than that.
Okay.
Why the fuck do you draft J.J. McCarthy after the tape you see in college? Like,
Yeah,
he was
fair.
not impressive then. He is not impressive now. That's regardless of our NFC Championship debate, but somehow 9 always gets into the conversation.
We had to bring him up. We had to bring him up.
I mean, like, we would be bad football fans if we don't talk about him once a week.
All right. So let's talk about the big game then, if you want, unless you have another take on that.
I was gonna say I completely agree with you, Alex.
Okay.
If the only way the Rams win this game in my mind is if it's a shootout and it's a high possession game, because the Seahawks, since their loss to the Rams, have not lost a single game. They were 7-3 after that game. They're 14-3 with a dominant win over the 49ers.
Okay.
I mean, the Rams offense has looked the weakest it's looked all season. And the Seahawks defense has looked the best it's looked all season. I mean, they've allowed in their last 3 games a total of 19 points, and that's okay. Yeah, it's against the Panthers, but that's a Panthers team who put up. Like, it's Panthers, 49ers. Panthers put up 31 points on the Rams 2 weeks ago. I just, gosh, Seattle, let's ride.
I like it.
Let's ride.
I like it. I'm with that. All right. So now we're going to talk about the big game. The hypothetical big game is a 2014 rematch between the scorching hot Seattle Seahawks and the Patriots versus the schedule narrative going into the Super Bowl here. Who's winning this game?
You're not going to like this. The reason I'm going to go Seattle.
Yep.
And this isn't going to be by big margins. I think Seattle across the board has the playmakers to get it done.
Yep.
I can't believe I'm saying this because I have said Sam Darnold is a truly top half of the league good quarterback, except when it comes to a big game. He always, like, going back to college, he crumbles. But the running game this past week looked legit. And if they can establish that, and Darnold, even though he might be injured, only has to throw 20, 22, 23 times, and he has JSN and Cooper Kupp. I mean, I like that formula more than what the Patriots have going on offense right now. And I think it's going to really hurt to play. We saw it a little bit with the inability for Henderson to get going.
Yep.
Y'all have been dominant with the 2-man game. It's going to be so hard against this. It's going to be so hard against the Seahawks. And I got to say, McVay, dude, you just don't bet against him. He's got that dog. He is the 13th or
McVay.
Yeah, McVay's the 12th guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to throw with a score prediction too. I'm going to say 27-21 Seattle.
I mean, you're saying Sean McVay like you're still thinking about the LA Rams. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you're not understanding what's going on here.
My bad. Sorry. No.
McVay's the 12th man.
I meant McDonald.
Okay.
I meant McDonald. He's like a 12th guy on that defense. You were looking at me like that was crazy, and I was like, "What is he talking about? Does he not know the head coach of this team?" And then you said that, and I was like, "Do I not know the head coach of this team?"
I also think an important thing for this Seattle Seahawks versus Rams game that's going under the radar here is Seattle's a tough place to play, dude. Like, they do have that 12th man mentality when it comes to the team in the stands, and like that will be very interesting for that.
It's a humid climate, like.
Again, I can't wait to watch that. I can't wait to watch those games. The reason why I'm picking the Patriots is because, look, my friend is not here today to do the irrational thing and pick the team that probably shouldn't win this game, but I'm going to do it. I'm a Foxborough native. I got my Foxborough basketball crew neck on right now. That wasn't planned. That came to the head. And like there is the rational decision would be the Seahawks have played the best schedule in football. They played from the best conference in football, but they don't have Drake, May. And like, I'm so excited to watch this Patriots team battle it out for a Super Bowl. if they get there, right? You obviously have to beat the Broncos first. But in our hypothetical minds, we have the rematch of 2014, and I just don't see the Patriots losing this one. I can't see the Patriots losing this one. So we will see what happens in the AFC and NFC championship games this weekend. We will definitely get you a little bit of an update when that happens. Quickly, before we move on to the coaching carousel, I have 2 questions for you.
I got 2 answers for you.
Perfect. First goes back to Patriots Texans, because we didn't touch on this before we moved over to the NFC. Is CJ Stroud your quarterback next year if you're the Texans?
It's a long conversation because CJ Stroud, his rookie year, was top 15, top 12 quarterback already. I mean, he was unbelievable. And you know what that was with? That was with a legitimate offensive line. He has seen horror the last 2 seasons.
Correct.
With what's coming at him and what's coming through that offensive line. If you're the Texans and you choose to move off of CJ Stroud, who are you going to get to replace him? And that's why you keep him and you pick up the 5th-year option and you don't extend him yet. You say, hey, we're going to put all of our resources, we're going to restructure contracts to get a legitimate offensive line for you, and we're going to see if we can get this done. Also, get a running back. I like Woody Marks, but like Woody Marks is fighting for his life too. Get a legitimate running back. When Mixon is, I forgot. They have Mixon. If Mixon is healthy,
but he's not healthy. Yeah.
Draft Justice Haynes. I like him out of Michigan. Draft one of the Penn State ones. Like, they have the receivers, they have the defense, they have the coach. I think. This is a hot take after that game. I do think they have the quarterback. I just think he's so in his head. I think he's in his head. And you know what? If I'm going to give other guys passes, I'm sure as hell going to give CJ Stroud passes after what I've seen him do in the past. And I don't think it's like, I think people are making it a little too deep about this conversation and not really thinking about what would Daniel Jones, are we going from CJ Stroud to Daniel Jones? I feel like they might be at the same level right now. And you'd have to pay Daniel Jones and then move off of Stroud, and Stroud's on an all-time low value. So I'm sticking with CJ. What about you, Al?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the answer stems from the fact that there isn't a really good quarterback in free agency that you could go and get.
Or draft.
Or draft.
Yeah.
This draft is not a quarterback draft. It's not. And Dante Moore is going back to school. He doesn't want to be a New York Jet, right? Which is also crazy.
So fair.
But I understand it. This draft in particular, it feels weak at that position. So I don't love Mendoza as a prospect, to be honest with you. I could be eating those words in a few years here, but like I don't think this is a class historically where like if a team didn't need a quarterback, they would draft one number 1. Right? Like if the Raiders didn't need a quarterback, they wouldn't be drafting Mendoza number 1. I don't think there's a clear number 1 quarterback prospect here. So I think that you are going to roll it back with CJ Stroud for one more year. And I think if at the end of next year, you look around at this Texans team and you go, everything is working except for you again, that's when you have to move on from him. Because let's be honest, you have to pay the players on this defense. And that is going to be the thing that, I mean, even if you go back to the J.J. Watt days, right? Like their defense was still fantastic, but they never had the offensive play to get over the hump, right? So you don't want that situation to perpetuate itself in Houston. So I think you give Stroud another year. You hope and pray that there is some sort of response to the negative play that he's had these past few years, and you figure it out. My second question on the subject of Fernando Mendoza is who wins the college football playoff tonight? We haven't talked a ton about college football this year because Jack and I don't watch a ton of it. I actually watched the whole playoff this year because it was so entertaining. And we said that the last 4 teams, in my opinion, the last 4 teams, like there wasn't a loser in my opinion. Like I like this Miami team. This Indiana team is the best story in sports, right? Like the Ole Miss team with Lane Kiffin taking every single, offensive coordinator with him to LSU, like that's a fantastic story, right? And who was the 4th team? It was Oregon. Dan Lanning, who said no to Alabama 2 seasons ago and was like, no, I'm staying in Oregon. Like I liked all 4 of these teams going in. We're down to 2. We're down to Indiana versus Miami for the national championship. Who do you got tonight?
I think it's going to be pretty convincingly Indiana.
Okay.
The best story, the best team. They're undefeated for a reason. I think people forget that this Miami team is the same team that lost to Louisville with Beck throwing 4 interceptions. They're the same team that they lost 2 ACC games. It's the reason why they weren't in the title game, and they beat A&M early in the season. They beat Notre Dame, and that inflated their whole season. They've played great football up until now. I hate Carson Beck. This is a hate watch. This is the biggest hate watch for me of the whole sports season so far. Shout out to our friend Braden Iovino. He helped me with hating Carson Beck. And you just can't not love Kurt Signetti and Mendoza. And the story that this team is with 0 5-star recruits. They have 0 5-stars coming in next year. They'll probably have some 5-star transfers. I haven't looked at any of the transfer stuff really that in depth yet, besides shout out Texas getting the best wide receiver in the pool. I think it's going to be Indiana pretty convincingly. Who do you think, Al, is going to win?
I'm right there with you. I think Indiana gets it done, and I think it's a convincing win. I think that if this game is close, it favors Miami. And I think that if this game is a blowout, it favors Indiana because Indiana hasn't played in a ton of close games. They haven't had one in the CFP so far. But look, you just can't say no to Kurt Signetti and this team. Google him. He wins, right? So, like, we're excited to see what happens during this game.
They beat Penn State coming from behind. They beat Oregon in a close game, 30-24 during the regular season.
Ohio State.
And they beat Ohio State. I literally think this is the best resume I've seen on a team since the best Georgia team and the best Alabama team. I mean, this is, man, I'm Jones. I mean, I don't have an emotional connection to either of these teams, but like Indiana gets me fired up, dude.
I understand that. I understand that. That's super fair. This team is exciting to watch, and I'm excited to see what they do tomorrow. Okay, let's move tonight. I'm watching this game tonight. This afternoon,
in less than an hour,
like in 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Let's move on quickly so that we can get to watching this game. We got one more thing to cover. The coaching carousel has been unbelievable in the NFL so far this year.
Yeah.
There's been more turnover this season than I can recall in a season in decades.
Dude, I think you can combine the NBA and NFL for the last 5 years, and I don't think you can find an NBA and NFL same year combination where there's been this much change as we've seen in the NFL in the last month.
So let's just run through some of the names of the guys that have been fired from their organizations. Kevin Stefanski was fired by the Browns. He's now been re-signed to Atlanta as their head coach. People are actually very excited about this move. I don't personally get it.
I don't either.
I mean, he did take the Browns to the playoffs for a year, and obviously their defense was amazing. But he had to deal with, multiple quarterbacks, all this type of stuff. Deshaun Watson on contract for $180 million, right? So, maybe you give him the benefit of the doubt for those reasons. But there are a ton of questions there if you're a Kevin Stefanski lover, I guess. Pete Carroll got fired by the Raiders. I didn't really see this one coming, to be honest with you, because he's so old at this point. It was just kind of maybe he's tenured enough to sneak away and just hopefully he retires, a year or two down the line. But they were so bad this year that it does kind of make sense that he's gone. Jonathan Gannon.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to touch on?
I was going to say Harbaugh. Harbaugh is an interesting one that I predicted. I mean, if they lose that game, Harbaugh's gone. And if the Steelers win that game, Tomlin stays. Well, Tomlin's gone too, but the Harbaugh one, they needed a change. He completely lost the locker room. The reports that have come out that Lamar had was dictating the practice schedule and wasn't listening to any of the Harbaugh advice, and he lost the defensive side of the team. It just I guess this is the most amicably
that this could go.
Yeah.
And look, I mean, you just mentioned it, right? The two longest tenured head coaches in the NFL have, there are now 2 coaching vacancies. And I think that the answer for why that is, I mean, Tomlin's reaction, it sounds like from the players was, we love Mike Tomlin reaction, not a, we wanted this guy gone for years reaction. And I think that speaks to the testament of character of a guy like Mike Tomlin, who is clearly proven to be an NFL Hall of Fame head coach. Will he coach again in the NFL? It's a big question. He certainly won't next year. But the Harbaugh message clearly did not click anymore in Baltimore. And they decided that was the right decision for them, was to go and try and find a new head coach. John Harbaugh has found himself in New York now. This is an interesting hire to me. I mean, I think from a Giants perspective, it's a great hire. Obviously, you bring a guy in the room who has a Super Bowl championship. It just doesn't feel like, to me, the best head coaching job that was available. Maybe I'm wrong.
So I had the same thought. And I guess the other options you have are Tennessee, Atlanta, the Browns, Raiders. And when you look at that field, I guess the Giants are the best.
I mean, obviously the Bills now, because McDermott got fired. That's probably the best.
I don't think that they would have. I think they might stay internal and just move up. I texted y'all that, but I think that they're gonna bump up Brady and bring in Dable or something, bring in an offensive coordinator. I think I like the fit. The only reason I'm a little hesitant is Harbaugh with Dart. I'm you know me, I'm not a Dart believer. I'm fascinated to see what year 2 of Dart's going to look like with Harbaugh, because I think Harbaugh, and when things are clicking, is one of the best coaches in the NFL, obviously, but maybe he can unlock something in Dart that I am just not seeing.
You guys have been haters for a while. I actually think that he has shown flashes of being a good starting quarterback in the NFL. But I think that there are certainly questions about what the production is going to look like in year 2, especially without a guy like Daboll, who clearly was like, this guy is going to save my job, right?
Yeah.
So I think that Giants team has a lot of questions, but they also have the capability, in my opinion, to turn it around next year and be competitive, because they have some really good pieces on the roster. You're going to get Scadaboo back. He'll probably be your lead back. Who's the guy? Wan'Dale Robinson.
Dude,
he was awesome this season.
Everyone forgets that Malik Neighbors was on this team because he was out for the whole year.
Micah Parsons showed flashes of being a good NFL player at the end of the season.
Abdul Carter.
Sorry.
No,
Abdul Carter.
So that's like the most fair to get, because they're both Penn State guys and high draft picks.
Yeah, fair enough. Abdul Carter, like, he's shown flashes of being a solid NFL player. Like, they have things to be excited about. Obviously, another high draft pick this year. You'll see who they take. So I understand why that would be. And obviously, New York's a huge market.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that, it makes sense. Like, they were going to back the Brinks truck up and bring in Harbaugh. So I get that one. But I don't know. We'll see what happens there in New York, and we will be tuned in to watch what happens with that team. Obviously, they're an NFC East team, so you'll watch them twice a year. Jonathan Gannon's gone from Arizona. We kind of felt like that one was coming. I never really understood that hire in the first place. In fact, I figured that he would have a very similar career trajectory to Liam Cohen, who has completely proven me wrong.
Yeah,
because they both came in with the cringy, interviews where they're like, pew pew, throwing fire, like all that type of stuff.
They were like swaying like this with like a creepy ass smile, like like no.
So he'll go back to being an OC or a DC somewhere, probably an offensive coordinator if I had to guess. Raheem Morris is out in Atlanta. I didn't get that one at the time, especially now that the replacement that you have is Kevin Stefanski. I think Atlanta is actually a great job.
Really?
I do. I think Bijan Robinson's the best running back in the NFL.
I don't know if that's I think he's definitely top 3, but bye, Kyle. Have a good one. Sorry, I was saying goodbye to the roommates, to my roommate's brother. He's the boy.
Gotcha. High production value over
here. Dude. Well, and shout out Kyle. He's going to Hawaii for 3 years.
Nice. There you go.
Which is going to be pretty awesome for him. Okay, going back to the Falcons job, I don't believe in Phoenix. They have the worst contract in football with Kirk Cousins. Better as an analysis analyst than a player now. They have the pieces. If I were them, I understand firing Morris, but it's the same thing with the Stroud. If you're going to get rid of the guy, you got to find someone better. Yeah. And I do not know if Stefanski has done it twice with no talent, but he has also put up 2, 3, and 14 seasons back to back. I didn't know this. I looked it up the other day. Stefanski has gone 11-6 with the Browns, and he's gone 10-7 with the Browns, which is just kind of
playoffs with them.
Yeah. Dude.
He made the playoffs with Joe Flacco as his starting quarterback. David Njoku's like breakout year that year.
Yes.
Yeah, they were good. I mean, their defense has always been good, but like the Deshaun Watson situation has clearly been the thing that just destroyed him.
Yeah.
I mean, so
he went
I think
11-5 and 11-6.
There you go.
He went 5-12 this year. My bad for the 3-12.
Sorry,
3-14. Yeah, sorry, Browns fans. All 4 of you.
Yeah. I mean, I think the dog pound has got a few more fans. We don't got to disrespect them like we do the Jags every week. But yeah, I mean, so I think that's an interesting move. I do think Stefanski has a little bit more to show, especially just from a resume perspective than maybe a Raheem Morris, but it felt like Raheem Morris was starting to turn that thing around at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we'll find out.
Games.
Mike McDaniel is out for the Miami job. This was one that is kind of surprising because they were like, we're not firing him all season. And then at the end of the year, they just decide to do it. It feels like.
Well, so what I read is that they had a meeting. It was literally him and the owners about direction and literally signing an extension. And apparently it went so poorly that they fired him.
Wow.
And so what I've read is that Miami's not ready to move off of Tua. And McDaniels has been pretty much like, if he couldn't do it this year and he couldn't do it last year and he barely did it the year before, then I don't want to coach a team with him as the quarterback.
Yeah.
And I guess that's the Miami front office saying we've invested too much into Tua to give up now. And I'm like, I think this is the perfect time to jump ship and cut your losses.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, insiders are leaning towards him becoming the OC in Tampa. He obviously took an interview with the Lions. People said that one didn't work out. He took a head coaching interview with the Ravens. I don't see that happening either. But he will definitely be an offensive coordinator somewhere. I think that's probably where he's best suited for the next few years to be an OC. And maybe a few years down the line, he'll get another head coaching job if he continues to do well in that position. Speaking of offensive coordinators, Cliff Kingsbury was let go by the Washington Commanders. That was a big move, it felt like, because Jaden Daniels seemed like this offense loved him. And it kind of came out of nowhere, especially considering that they kept Dan Quinn. Some notable keeps so far have been Dan Quinn, who, I mean, had a really good season, really successful season last year, but failed to do anything with it this year. I mean, they battled a ton of injuries in DC this year, so I don't blame him entirely for that. Todd Bowles is still the head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers after starting the season 6-2. They finished 8-9. It feels like maybe that probably should have been his kick out of the door. And Aaron Glenn, which is the only team who coached the only team in NFL history to never have an interception. And they had 17 games to do it. Aaron Glenn in his NFL career has over 40 interceptions as a player.
And
think about that.
I can't believe I'm going to defend this. I don't think that they should have fired him. I believe in Aaron
Really?
Glenn. I think he can get it done. I think the situation in New York for the Jets is just maybe the worst it's ever been, but we say that every year. It just gets a little bit worse. Big draft coming up for them, and hopefully it's a better year 2. After year 2, if it doesn't work out, obviously you fire him. But this was supposed to be a home run hire. He was excited about this job, and every week he looked even more depressed than the Jets fans themselves.
Yeah, I mean, he certainly wasn't dancing like he was in week 2 at the end of the season in his capris.
or when they almost beat the Steelers. Was that week 1?
Yes,
where that game was
1.
electric.
Yeah,
Justin Fields was awesome, and Rodgers was awesome.
I think that's the reason I'm surprised he still has a job. Is that they did look like they could be competitive.
Yeah.
And then the defense completely imploded. Obviously, you traded Quinnen Williams and Sauce Gardner at the deadline because you were like, okay, we're just gonna
sell,
outsource everyone. But this team got progressively worse.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have a starting quarterback, right? Yeah. Justin Fields, it feels like has the experiment has failed, unfortunately. And it's too bad because I like Justin Fields a lot, actually. And I don't know who their quarterback is going to be because they were expecting to draft one and he's staying in college, right? Yeah. So here's a fun idea just on the NFL draft in particular. Here's a hot take. I think that you should be able to draft players as sophomores or juniors and they don't have to come out until the next year, but you still have the draft rights to them.
Oh, it's like it's baseball?
Exactly like baseball. And it used to be like basketball because the Boston Celtics drafted Larry Bird and he stayed another year. And then they still had the rights to him and he came to Boston. I just think that'd be a fun idea. But I also think that everybody would draft Arch Manning like 1A, 1B this year, probably. So I don't know. I don't know if that would actually work out, but I think it's an interesting concept.
Because then when you look at it, it increases the value of all picks. You have to make the draft longer because, or you're just going to have the most loaded, undrafted free agency class like ever, which low-key would be so sick.
It would be cool. It would be really cool.
Maybe you make the NFL draft like 8 rounds or 9 rounds. You know what? We should do an episode where we just throw out crazy like shouts.
Just
like,
crazy hot takes.
Like, Jack puts one out there and then we have to talk about it. You put one out there and then Jack and I have to talk about it. I put one out there and then you all have to talk about it.
I mean, this is coming off the back of us, like we were brainstorming ideas to fix the NBA, All-Star game earlier. So like we've certainly had our conspiracy hats on all day today.
Left hand had my phone, we will do that. And right hand had my food. I was like, yo, this is peak media. I had one more thing. The DC, the Commanders one.
Yeah.
I read why they fired Cliff Kingsbury.
Mm-hmm.
I actually understand this. They said that he was running too much of a like college system, and they wanted to challenge Jaden Daniels more. And they felt like Daniels was getting too comfortable playing like he was at LSU, and as much as like they felt like it was a crutch to his development to keep Kingsbury and not expand the offense. I agree with that from how many games I saw from them. The only issue is you have to let Daniels know before you do that because your franchise right now is nothing without him. It's the oldest roster in the NFL by an average age of like 2 years.
Right.
They're archaic, and I like keeping Dan Quinn because I think he is a good head coach. I think he's a good DC. I think he's a good head coach, and I think that they can do it in DC. A little pun, but you have to bring in an all-star. You have to bring in an all-star to have like a bounce back year. Otherwise, the staff is doomed.
As in like
as
at
your
the coaching position.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they look at Mike McDaniel as well. I think Mike McDaniel is the best offensive mind that is available right now. I think that's one of the biggest questions.
I'm a huge Brian Dable guy. I'm a huge Brian Dable guy.
I was going to say, I think that like there are a lot of questions this year simply just because of all the coaching turnover. And we haven't even mentioned Sean McDermott yet, who is the most surprising move so far. I don't even know how that slipped my mind. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but Sean McDermott is out from this Buffalo Bills job. Before I get to that take, but like, I think that this year has been so surprising because it feels like teams are firing their head coaches or their head coaches are leaving, and there isn't like a pool of talent to refill those positions. Right? Like it doesn't feel like there's like a fantastic class of guys that you're looking to make head coaches, right? Obviously like Ben Johnson, Liam Cohen, like Mike Rabel, like those guys were out there last year for if you were to fire a head coach, you knew like I could get one of the best offensive minds in football and bring him into my office and we're going to win the NFC North, right? Like that's what happened with Ben Johnson, right? Mike Rabel, Patriots guy. Played for the Patriots, won Super Bowls with the Patriots, has proven to be a good head coach in Tennessee. Let's bring him in and replace that. Same thing with the Jags, right? Like, let's get a guy like Liam Cohen in this building and completely change the culture around here. All those things we're capable of doing. But like a lot of dudes that are being brought up for these head coaching positions are guys like Brian Flores, who lost the locker room in Miami, right? A guy like Robert Saleh from the 49ers who didn't do well with the New York Jets, right? Yeah. So like, I think that there are a ton of questions for like, okay, these teams have chosen to go the route of trying to find something better in the NFL coaching pool.
Yeah.
Where is it coming from?
Right. And I don't look at any college coaches right now and be like, I want to upgrade.
Aside from Kurt Cignetti, who's not going to leave.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it's literally like the only guy who I could think of who I think could translate to the NFL as a coordinator or maybe head coach is USC head coach, who I always forget his name, but he was the head coach at OU before. You know what I'm talking about? He's like, he looks like the biggest.
He's the quarterback guy.
Yeah. Coach football. I can't believe Lincoln Riley. But like he had so many opportunities to move up and come to the NFL, but he hasn't. I mean, Yeah, I completely agree with that take, Al. I'm looking across the board in my mind, and I can't think of a single OC to head coach
Yeah,
besides
I
Joe
think Clint
Brady,
Kubiak.
but that's all internal. I think Joe
Yeah,
Brady
I
is the
think
best. I take back what we said before. In my opinion, Joe Brady's the best offensive mind we have right now for
okay.
of the available people. But Joe Brady's just going to become their head coach.
Okay.
Kalshi, let me put those odds down right now.
Okay, yeah. I mean, so the McDermott firing was definitely the most surprising of all of them, and it feels like it comes on the back of the Buffalo Bills panicking and being like, we have to do something to please the fan base. Like, we lost again. Like, what can we make a change on right now? We're going to fire a head coach.
Yeah.
Dumb. Bad decision, in my opinion. I think Sean McDermott will probably take a year off and then be back in the NFL the year after, if I had to guess.
Mm-hmm.
That feels like the route that a guy like that would go. But yeah, maybe they do elevate Joe Brady, and maybe that was always the plan. But
I think
it feels like the wrong move from Buffalo, in my opinion.
it feels like they had a like either it was a rash decision, like you just said, and like we have to change something right now, or it was hey, like if you don't make it to the Super Bowl or win the Super Bowl this time, this is the last chance. Because now in the NFL, it's three people. It comes down to the GM, it comes down to the head coach, it comes down, I guess 4 people. It comes down to the OC, comes down to the quarterback. If you can't do it 6 years in a row, you got to change somebody. The OC is good. The quarterback is good. I think the head coach is, the quarterback's excellent. OC is excellent. Coach is good.
Mm-hmm.
The GM, in my opinion, is pretty bad. And this is what I've seen from a couple Buffalo fans on Twitter, that they were upset that if you fire McDermott, why didn't you fire I'm blanking on his name, but their GM. I'm trying to be an optimist here and see where they're coming from, but I just don't get it, especially off of how this ended. Like, McDermott has had issues in the past with game management and clock management and personnel and making the right decisions as the guy who has the final head say so in games, but I feel like he's gotten better. And I don't feel like that was on him. I feel like earlier in the episode, I said like some of it comes down to the coaching, but like this past game was more Josh Allen than anyone, and it's completely rash. You're completely right.
Yeah, I mean, in 9 seasons with the Bills, they went to the playoffs 7 times. He had culminated a record of 98-50 in the regular season, 8-8 in the postseason, 5 AFC East titles in a division with the Patriots, by the way, who had dominated for 20 plus years, right? So that I think should be noted. 2 AFC Championship appearances and no Super Bowl against Patrick Mahomes twice. They obviously came up short. And then last night, they were almost on their way or 2 nights ago, they were on their way to getting a third championship or third AFC championship, and they fell short on a interception catch thing, this, that, the other thing, right? Like, I think that the luck in Buffalo is just the fact that, they didn't win because of that, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not necessarily because of his coaching. While we're talking about this, the Dolphins have hired former Packers defensive head coach Jeff Haley to be their head coach.
Oh, yeah.
If that makes sense to you, then it's a good move. It doesn't really make all that much sense to me.
I normally don't like commenting on things that I don't know enough about, but I will say I don't know enough about this one, and I don't know what the hell's going on in Miami. I have no idea. You look at the roster and you're like, Devon Achane, and then everyone else has some sort of question mark.
Yep.
In my opinion.
Yep. And the top comment on this post from Adam Schefter is, and it's a picture of the head coach, is he looks as confused as the rest of us that he got hired for this job. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I mean, there are certainly a lot of questions going around in the NFL head coaching scene so far. We will certainly judge all of those coaches and their hirings as they come out down the stretch here. But as of right now, like, some of them, you just kind of look at and you're like, really surprising move. Really surprising move. So
I'm really scratching my brain here to like find some names that I could throw out there to be some head coaches for these teams, but like Kellen Moore left last season, went to the Saints. I mean, like all the good options with this past year.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll keep you updated, right? Like, we don't know necessarily. I mean, there are obviously always head coaching positions and defensive and offensive coordinator positions that need to be filled. The big splash hire, it feels like, is Sean McDermott. If you can get him at this point, we will see. And we will keep you guys updated with anything that happens in the NFL. We'll be back sometime this week, I'm sure, to talk about basketball and football when it happens on Sunday. Hopefully with Jack, but we will see, right? His schedule is a little bit less flexible nowadays because he is doing the whole abroad thing. But yeah, I mean, George, thank you. And thank you to our listeners for always, tagging along. I mean, we had a few posts this week that did really well, so we appreciate that. And yeah, as always, I'm Alex Penders.
I'm George Schnender.
And this has been the Corner Office Pod. Thank you for listening. Corner 3.
Corner 3. Yeah, look at that form.
Looks good.